When ordinary people wake up, elites begin to tremble in their boots. They can't get away with their abuse. They can't get away with subjection. They can't get away with subjugation. They can't get away with exploitation. They can't get away with domination. It takes courage for folk to stand up. The need of black conservatives to gain the respect of their white peers deeply shapes certain elements of their conservatism. In this regard, they simply want what most people want, to be judged by the quality of their skills, not by the color of their skin. But the black conservatives overlook the fact that affirmative action policies were political responses to the pervasive refusal of most white Americans to judge black Americans on that basis. In the way in which our culture of consumption has promoted an addiction to stimulation, one that puts a premium on packaged and commodified stimulation. The market does this to convince us that our consumption keeps oiling the economy for it to reproduce itself. But the effect of this addiction to stimulation is an undermining, a waning of our ability for qualitatively rich relationships. To be humble is to be so sure of oneself and one's mission that one can forego calling excessive attention to one's self and status. And every historic effort to forge a democratic project has been undermined by two fundamental realities: poverty and paranoia. The persistence of poverty generates levels of despair that deepen social conflict. The escalation of paranoia produces levels of distrust that reinforce cultural division. Race is the most explosive issue in American life precisely because it forces us to confront the tragic facts of poverty and paranoia, despair, and distrust. In short, a candid examination of race matters takes us to the core of the crisis of American democracy. That's why love is so inseparable from any talk about truth and death, because we know that love is fundamentally a death of an old self that was isolated and the emergence of a new self now entangled with another self, the self that you fall in love with. Those who have never despaired have neither lived nor loved. Hope is inseparable from despair. Those of us who truly hope make despair a constant companion, whom we outwrestle every day owing to our commitment to justice, love, and hope. Without some redistribution of wealth and power, downward mobility and debilitating poverty will continue to drive people into desperate channels. And without principled opposition to xenophobias from above and below, these desperate channels will produce a cold-hearted and mean-spirited America no longer worth fighting for or living in. Nihilism is a disease of the soul. It can never be completely cured, and there is always the possibility of relapse. There is always a chance for conversion, a chance for people to believe that there is hope for the future and a meaning to struggle. Nihilism is not overcome by arguments or analyses, it is tamed by love and care. A love ethic has nothing to do with sentimental feelings or tribal connections. Rather, it is a last attempt at generating a sense of agency among a downtrodden people. Without a vibrant tradition of resistance passed on to new generations, there can be no nurturing of a collective and critical consciousness. Only professional conscientiousness survives. Anytime two human beings find genuine pleasure, joy, and love, the stars smile and the universe is enriched. This market way of life promotes addictions to stimulation and obsessions with comfort and convenience.